So my company finally gets a new CO and finally it gets a new XO. And because my unit is a non-standard unit, it's either a lieutenant colonel or a full bird colonel in charge of us, with the XO being a major. Now, these motherfuckers hated each other. Nobody knows why. They're wearing the same combat patch from Vietnam, but these motherfuckers hate each other. I mean, I drove the CO in and he's fucking bitch, because he'd been at Fort Hood. You could always tell the guys who've been at Fort Hood because bitch. I got back and dropped him off, and they're like, hey, you got to go back to Rhine Mine and pick up somebody else. I'm like, what, the asshole couldn't fucking be there when I fucking went in? He's like, well, he came in on the same flight, but he went to the bathroom before he called us. So we dispatched you. I was like, well, then why didn't you tell him I was going to be there? He said he missed you. I'm like, I'm going to kill this man. I'm going to kill. What rank is he? Oh, he's a major. Fuck, I can't kill him. Now, if he's a private, I'm dragging him under the truck. Drive all the way back to Rhine Mine. I'm fucking tired. My eyes are bleary. I'm not even supposed to be on duty driver, but the duty driver was drunk, and the assistant duty driver, I wouldn't trust to drive a go-kart. So I show up, and there's this major. And the whole way up there, bitch, because he'd been at Fort Lewis. Actually, the running joke of this is you could always tell when somebody's been at X Post because all they do is bitch. But I'm driving him up, and he goes, what's the company commander like? I'm like, I don't fucking know. And he's like, you can speak with a little suspect. I actually stopped the truck and you want to fucking walk? And some lunatic comes out of the bushes, and he's probably from another unit, and plasters his hands against the window and puts his mouth against the window and does the blowfish. The dude screams and the guy takes off back in the bushes, and I'm like, welcome to Field Flicking. This is the kind of shit that happens all the time. Eventually, after a couple of years, I just got used to it. It's just the way it went. So I'm like, he's like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, we just got the new CO yesterday. He's like, oh, what's his name? I don't fucking know. It's like, he's an officer. I don't keep track of officers. Well, you should, because your commanding officer is an important part of your unit. I'm like, I'm never going to see this dude again. So both these guys are complete fucking tools. If they weren't talking about the previous post, they were talking about the NOM. Oh my God. Only Gen Xers know how bad the words "when I was in the NOM" really is. Kill me now before you tell me more stories about you raping villagers and buying children to huck them out of helicopters. Please, God. I get it. You were stoned and fucking fell in a hole. Nobody fucking cares. I get it. You know, you got drunk, crashed a helicopter, and blamed it on a pig. I get it. I've heard this story 900,000 fucking times. And it always starts with, when I was in the NOM, fuck you. You know, if you're a Gen Xer, you remember those particular words. Oh, and it was worse if your dad was mad and yelled when I was in the NOM because, hey, look, it's the ass-kicking train and it's never late. So I get off CQ, which is 24-hour duty. I go to bed. Somebody starts hammering on my fucking door like a retarded monkey. I get up. I do my usual look down, hey, it's my morning friend. Fuck it, I'm gonna answer the door naked anyway. Whip up the door. The CQ's like, Jesus Christ, man. When they woke me up when I was on CQ, if it wasn't hard, I would deliberately crank on it so that by the time I got to the door, I had a nice erection because I just whip open the door and be like, what? Well, don't wake me up. You knock on my door, you get to see the crank. My wife's over there. She's got this big grin because she knows I'm not lying. I'm like, you knock on my door, you stare at the crank. What do you want? He's like, well, the new XO wants to know if you know where his watch is. I'm like, how the fuck do I know where his watch is? Well, he said he had the watch when he got off the airplane, but now he can't find it, and he wants to know if you took it. I was like, you know what? Why don't you tell that asshole to come and search my fucking room? And if you wake me up again when we go back out to the field, I'm going to piss in your MRE. And he's like, you don't have to be an asshole about it. Finally, my day off ends. I get royally drunk and pass out on the fucking floor. I wake up the next day. My buddy comes in. He's like, fuck. I'm like, what? He goes, so we got a new CO. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, he's like a fucking total dick puppet. It's like, yeah, well, you know how our formation's at 06? I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, he decided our formation's now at 05. Well, I missed formation and I don't care. You know, go to breakfast, come back, and I'm standing in formation. And I'm at the back. And you see the XO, he's next to me. I'm looking at him, and this motherfucker is seething. If you looked up seething imbecilic asshole in the dictionary, this dude's picture would be there. I mean, he's grinding his teeth, and he's giving the death glare up to the front of the unit. Well, it turns out that these two fucking hate each other. Absolutely hate each other. And I mean, they are constantly talking bad shit about each other. One day, it happens. I don't know what caused it. I'm standing in formation hungover, like, you know, usual. And I'm kind of staring up there. And the XO is standing there, and he's got his helmet, and he's got his flak vest on and everything. And CO's up there rambling on about some shit I'm not paying attention to. And all of a sudden, the XO takes off his helmet, drops his weapon, runs up to the front of the formation screaming, I hate you so fucking much! Bashes the CO in the face with the helmet, and the fight is on. And we separate him, and the XO starts screaming, he's a fucking werewolf! And the CO starts screaming, I'm not the werewolf, he's the werewolf, he's the one that got bit by the gook, he's the werewolf! And I go, if this motherfucker bites me and I turn into a weregook, I'm gonna be so mad. And they're in the cop car with their hands handcuffed behind their back, kicking each other. You know, I'm talking to the MP, and he can't stop fucking laughing. The whole beef apparently was one of them was bit by a Vietnamese werewolf, was their argument. And then the story takes a dark turn. They're moving the CO from the post to Fulda to process him completely, and they find the fucking MP wagon wrecked. The MP's dead from a broken neck, and the CO is nowhere to be found. So who was the werewolf? Because when they went out to search for the MP van, they came back, and the XO wasn't in his cell. What did we decide? They were actually vampires. Because, you know, it makes as much sense as any place else in that fucking hellhole.